The sun was barely rising over the worn-out garage on the edge of town when the moment happened, the kind of moment that splits a man's life into before and after. Jack had spent the whole night cleaning the old motorcycle, his father's last memory, his own last tie to a past he could no longer hold on to. He was exhausted, broke, and out of options. Selling the bike felt like ripping out a piece of his soul, but he had no choice. What he didn't know was that within the next hour, a tattooed biker in a leather vest would walk into his life, freeze mid-step, stare at him like he'd seen a ghost, and whisper the words that would change everything. "Boss, is that you? If you believe in kindness, in second chances, in the power of unexpected moments, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep telling stories that matter." Jack had always been the quiet type, a man who hid his pain behind tired eyes and grease-stained hands. After losing his father 2 years ago and his small repair shop barely surviving since the local factory shut down, he spent most days fighting off memories instead of customers. The motorcycle he was now selling wasn't just an old machine, it was the last thing he and his father had built together, bolt by bolt, on nights filled with laughter, stories, and the kind of peace Jack hadn't felt since. But unpaid bills stacked like bricks on his chest, and life didn't wait for grief to finish its work. So he listed the bike, hoping someone would appreciate it, even if he couldn't keep it. The man who walked into the garage that morning was nothing like Jack expected. He looked like he stepped out of a road legend, bald, heavy tattoos wrapping around his arms, a leather vest with wings spread wide over a skull, and boots that hit the concrete with a quiet authority. He carried his helmet like it weighed a memory. Jack forced a polite smile, hiding his anxiety. The biker glanced at the motorcycle, his expression quietly impressed, then turned to Jack, and froze. His face lost all color. His throat worked like he was swallowing a storm. Jack couldn't understand, he had never met this man before. But the biker seemed to recognize him. For a moment the garage felt too small, like it was holding its breath. The biker's eyes softened, almost breaking, and he whispered, "Boss, is that you?" His voice trembled the way a soldier trembles when he sees the ghost of someone he lost years ago. Jack stepped back, confused, shaken, feeling like the world had tilted. The biker blinked hard, looked again, and suddenly a painful smile cracked across his face. "You look just like him," he murmured. "Like the man who saved my life." Jack didn't understand until the biker asked, barely holding himself together, if he was the son of Daniel Walker. Jack's heart stuttered. His father. His mentor. The man whose absence still felt like an open wound. When he nodded, the biker quietly sank onto a nearby stool, elbows on his knees, eyes moist with memories he'd buried too long. He told Jack that years ago he had been a reckless young biker, lost, angry, running with a crowd that didn't care whether he lived or died. One night he crashed badly on a mountain road, mangled bike, broken bones, bleeding out in the dark. Everyone rode on, except Daniel Walker, who happened to be passing by. Jack's father stayed with him until help arrived, talking to him, calming him, refusing to let him close his eyes. "Your dad kept telling me," the biker said, voice thick, "Son, your story isn't over yet. Don't quit on me." And I didn't. His words changed something in me. I left that violent life. Joined a better chapter. I built a new future. And now, the biker looked at Jack with painful gratitude. "Seeing you standing there, it felt like seeing him again. Like life was giving me a chance to say thank you." Jack had never heard that story. His father had been a simple man, humble to a fault. He helped people quietly and never mentioned it. Hearing this stranger speak so reverently about him cracked something inside Jack, something heavy, something he'd been carrying alone. For the first time in years, he felt his father's presence not as loss, but as legacy. The biker stood and walked around the motorcycle, fingers tracing its lines with unexpected tenderness. He knew craftsmanship, he respected the soul of a machine. When Jack told him why he had to sell it, how bills were burying him, how the shop was failing, how life had gotten too heavy, the biker listened without judgment. And then he shook his head firmly. "You're not selling this bike," he said, voice steady. "Not this one. Not something your dad built with you." Jack laughed bitterly, frustrated. "I don't have a choice," he said. "Life doesn't care about what things mean." But the biker stepped closer, looked him straight in the eyes, and said words that cut right through him. "Your father didn't save my life so you could spend yours drowning." He pulled out his phone and made a call right there in the garage. A minute later, he told Jack that his entire biker chapter, successful businessmen now, not the troublemakers of their youth, owed Jack's father a debt. They were going to help save the shop. They were going to pay for renovations, help restock tools, and even send bikers from all over the region to get repairs done at Jack's place. "We take care of the man who saved us," he said. "And we take care of his son." Jack didn't know whether to cry or argue. But the biker wasn't done. He reached for the motorcycle, placed Jack's hand on the handlebar, and said quietly, "Your father built this with you. Let it stay where it belongs. Let us handle the rest." In that moment, surrounded by dust particles dancing in the golden sunlight pouring through the garage door, Jack felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Real, overwhelming, breath-stealing hope. It wasn't just that his shop would survive. It was the realization that his father's kindness had rippled out further than he ever knew, touching strangers, changing lives, circling back years later like a blessing returning home. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Before you go, comment below, kindness always comes back. Because sometimes, life rewards the goodness we thought the world had forgotten.